Hello and welcome to another episode of the Contractor Growth Show. My name is Mark. I'm your host. And today I'm talking with Tom Stuckey at Eagle Eye Builder Group in St. Louis, Missouri. Tom, thank you so much for being with us today.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so fun history of the business. You grew up in St. Louis and then went to Jacksonville, Florida, spent some time there and really kind of
Yep.
got your chops together. Sounds like really, did some great work for some folks down there and
Yep.
passed, it sounds like the hardest test in the U.S. And then made your way back up to St. Louis, and now have got the Eagle Eye. Maybe you can just fill us in on the story, a little bit of the history, and where you guys are at today.
Sure. Yeah, so Eagle Eye Builder Group's been around for at least 6 years this year. Previous to that, I spent 3 years in Jacksonville, Florida, as you said. I worked for a general contractor down there. Initially got hired as a superintendent, and then by the time I left, I was doing all the purchasing for the company. So we went from $3 million a year my tenure to $35 million when I left.
Wow.
Yeah. And then prior to that, I had a different company under a different name in St. Louis for it was right about 5 years as well.
Wow, amazing. How long were you at the company when you guys went from 3 to 35 million?
3 years, almost exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
So what, and I mean, when we hear numbers like that, we always, kind of want to stop and say, hold on, we want to hear more details about this. How were you guys responsible and how did you participate in such amazing growth like that over such a short period of time?
Yeah. So, I mean, when I got hired, like I said, I just came on as a superintendent, and we were doing, I would say 80-20 residential at that time, custom homes, a little bit of 20% commercial, custom, remodeling, big, large scale kind of stuff, $1 million homes, 750,000 plus homes. It was just, it was crazy. It was just, there was a team of 1, 2, 3, 4, I think, when I first started.
Okay.
And when we ended, I think we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, I think 6 or 7 of us. So we kept it pretty tight. But we, in that 3-year time period, we made a flip from 80-20 residential to 80-20 commercial. And
Interesting. Okay.
yeah, that's where our large growth was attributed to. And in that 3 years, like I said, I went from superintendent, and then I went to like I don't know what you would call it, like a project manager in charge of superintendents. And then I went and became vice president, and then I did the purchasing for the whole company before I left. So
Wow. That is amazing.
Quite the ride.
Yeah, right. Interesting. And then, I mean, are you guys with Eagle Eye now in St. Louis, the work you guys are doing, you guys do mostly residential or is it a mix of commercial as well?
I would say it was similar path, 80-20. In terms of dollars, this year, I'm going to be doing more commercial as it stands June 1st of this year.
Okay.
But who knows what the rest of the year holds. I always believe that you have to have a mix of residential and commercial. Usually when the residential is hot, commercial is not so much. And then it usually flips. Commercial's hot and residential is kind of
really interesting.
a
Wow.
little bit lower.
And do you see the trend that the direction that's headed now? I mean, do you see, that, to some extent, the housing market is softening, just at least on the buy and sell houses. And I definitely want to ask you some about just what you're seeing out in the market as well. I mean, you guys are like way on top of it. And
yeah, the clientele I try to market to, they don't have recessions. You know what I mean? Money,
I love it.
Money
High-end
isn't a
luxury.
thing. I mean, it's a thing. Don't get me wrong. But high net worth individuals, so they can spend money when they want to spend money, whether the economy's great or not so great, or interest is at 6% or 3%.
Interesting.
And then commercially, I mean, I don't know. Commercial is very fickle. It's hot and then it's not, and then it's hot, then it's not. It seems like it's doing really well right now. It's a little slow towards the beginning of the year, but I've seen it to start pick up. And I don't know. I think elections last year. Well, elections always matter, right? But elections last year, not sure of who is going to be in and whatnot, and policies and things like that. Whether doesn't matter, right, left, blue, red, that doesn't matter. But there's always turmoil when there's an election. So I think it's just trying to understand who and what and how to proceed, you know.
Right. Got it. Okay. Interesting. So regarding the I mean, it sounds like you guys are working with high net worth and higher end homes. And certainly, yeah, I mean, in the last recession, even, you can go back to 2008. And we, of course we saw that, is that, that higher end market was certainly a lot less affected by the kind of real estate crash and whatnot. Have you seen anything with, kind of the tariffs and different things that are happening, some uncertainty around the economy? I mean, is that affecting you guys, like jobs getting accepted, any kind of jobs getting lost, any of that, or just like,
So,
really?
I mean, I think there's always, not always, I think there's a general unease in the market. I mean, tariffs are a thing, but they're not as severe as I think they're portrayed to be. I mean, so every year, I'd say February, March, April, you're always going to get price increases. I think they might have been a little bit higher this year than last year. My general sense is I think there's going to be more price increases this year. Like, for instance, windows went up twice, February and then in May. And they said because of the tariffs, because they get their aluminum, I guess, abroad. Lumber is still fairly stable. I talk to him once a week or so and ask him the question. But lumber is it's a commodity. It's going to go up and down every day anyways, right? And his point was, we've got X millions of dollars in the yard today. We've already purchased X million of dollars. So, I mean, any tariff would be 2 months, 3 months down the road. So that helps kind of help us have the ability to adjust, a little bit.
Gotcha. Okay. So I saw when we were kind of prepping for the show, I mean, you kind of discovered your love for design and construction, working for Habitat for Humanity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Maybe you could tell us a little bit about that, kind of how that journey started.
Yeah. So I went to a private high school, and we had requirements. You had to have so many service hours, to be able to graduate. And I chose Habitat for Humanity for my service hours. So, I did that, did my hours for them, and just kind of, felt like it was a good fit. Met some friends there. Just kind of one thing led to another. Then, I was asked to help. I don't know what the official title was, but like an assistant house manager or leader or something like that. So I helped a house leader, as much as I could. I was still working, part-time, to make money and whatnot. But, I helped out as much as I can. And then after that gentleman moved on from Habitat, he opened his own company, and I went and worked with him for a little bit, summers, weekends, that kind of stuff. And just kind of snowballed after that, we had a family friend doing remodeling. He was doing more kitchens and baths, a little bit of decks and basements. So I worked with him for a few summers, and then, again on weekends and evenings and things like that. And just, I don't know, one thing led to another. So that's kind of how I got into this.
Oh man, cool.
Yeah. I can't work for someone. I found that out. Definitely unemployable.
Gotcha. I know, man. Us pirate builders out here, right? We're just like terrible, very unemployable. I totally understand what you mean.
Yeah.
That's great, man. I haven't worked for anybody for, many decades at this point.
Right.
Fantastic. And then that's great, Tom. I mean, so what is the mix of you guys kind of full-time employees versus subcontractors you work with?
Yeah, you're looking at them.
Just you, okay.
I sub out all my work. So I'm more like a construction manager, I guess you would say. General contracting. I call myself a true general contractor, meaning I sub it all out and I manage the process. I don't have guys that work for me. I don't have jack of all, master of none type trades. You know what I mean? So when I go into a project, my plumber's a plumber, my electrician's an electrician, so on and so forth. I don't have guys who pretend to be plumbers or electricians doing the work.
Gotcha.
To me, that's valuable because you're licensed in your field, you're got their training and your experiences in that field. Not I'm wiring your house today and plumbing it tomorrow kind of thing.
Okay, that is great, man. This is great, Tom. I really appreciate your wisdom here around all this. And then I saw, taking a look at my notes here with from our preparation here. So, I mean, you talked about something on your site, kind of on the About Us page at eagleeyebuildergroup.com, that there was something that really shaped your personal development and hardworking nature. And I'm curious about the hardworking nature because, something we've seen is that people that are really successful, I mean, they just work really hard. And I get that just from a lot of things that I read from your stuff here. But part of what developed your kind of created that personal development and hardworking nature was your time as a Boy Scout.
Right.
Tell me about that, man. How did that come about, and how did that kind of instill a hardworking professional nature with you down the road?
Right. Yeah. So, I think like maybe most boys, your parents put you in scouting. We had a pretty tight group, coming up through Cub Scouts and things like that. And, just Cub Scouts led into Boy Scouts. My dad was an Eagle Scout. My brother's an Eagle Scout. On my mom's side, I forgot the exact number. I think it was 9 out of 11 of the males are Eagle Scouts. So,
wow.
Yeah, so we're all on that.
Wow.
But they teach you, not just the outdoor skills, which are very valuable and sorely needed in today's society, but they teach you how to run people, run programs, how to put together the programs, how to like staff things, and, in addition to the values that the scouting organization, believes and instills young boys and men into, So I like I said, being an Eagle Scout, and I had a nickname when I was playing hockey. So that's just all kind of led to why I chose Eagle Eye.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I love it. Amazing. Well, fantastic. I mean, regarding kind of you guys over the next few years, I mean, what does kind of growth look like for you guys? I mean, most of the folks we talk to are kind of in growth mode at some level or another. Some builders we talk to, they say, we've actually got this kind of settled just right where we like it. We're kind of hit our sweet spot already. Are you guys kind of growing the business, or are you
definitely? Yep. Nope.
Definitely
I want to grow. So in the 5, almost 6 years I've had this, or coming back from Florida, and I've had Eagle Eye, I've doubled every year.
Wow.
I'm not sure if I'm going to double. I hope to double this year, but I'm not sure yet. But I was telling someone the other day, actually, I'm kind of in this unique spot where I want to bring people on to help, take some of the burden off me, but I'm not quite comfortable yet. I want a few more jobs to make me a little more comfortable doing that, but definitely want to grow. I want to get bigger. I don't want to get like giant, but in my mind, 6 to 10 employees, I guess, eventually.
Okay.
Admin, sales, estimator, the goal is to continually take things off my plate, and truly be a business owner, not someone who works in the business, but on it.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, fantastic. Well, guys, if you're listening to the show here, Tom's got a great website over at eagleeyebuildergroup.com. You can read all about his story there. He's got just some great kind of information there, a great blog with all kinds of great articles on it. It's actually got is it a book that you have also, Tom?
It's just like a little, like a freebie, if you come on and you click interest, you're interested, and you get a free little guide.
Free ebook, The Art of Bespoke Living.
Yeah.
I love it. Fantastic. And you get on his mailing list and get a lot of great information from Tom as well. Are there any other good places to get in touch with you, Tom, or is that the best place to find you and learn more about your company?
I mean, that's probably the best place. I do, you can also call me 636-565-3100. I have Instagram and Facebook, LinkedIn. I don't dabble in Twitter quite yet, but whatever it's called today, X.
Yeah, whatever the name of the day is.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, fantastic. Well, guys, take a look at Tom over at eagleeyebuildergroup.com. He's got a great website and a lot of great information, and it's just a fantastic guy from our short time here talking. Tom, thanks so much for being on the show today, and we really wish you the best with the business over the next few years.
No problem. Thank you. Appreciate the call.
Okay, take care.